We all knew this was going to be war. We've been telling you guys this is war. War is never clean. You lose people in war. You find out who your friends are. You find out who your enemies are. You find out things about yourself. You find out things you don't like. This is not pretty, and this is not fun for a lot of us. And today we got to talk about something that's pretty serious, something that's a little heavy on my heart today, if I'm being totally honest with you. A lot of you guys probably heard Dylan from Educating Liberals, for at least right now, is exiting the Q movement and moving on, and that has caused a big stir, and it has caused my email and my inboxes to blow up. So as much as I don't really want to make it a thing, I wanted, for my fans, for the followers, I guess, if you will, for the people following the movement, for the people supporting me, I feel like I owe it to you guys to give you an answer. So today's video, we are going to go down the path of what I think is going on, or not what I think is going on, because I have no clue, but what my thoughts are on Educating Liberals, on Dylan leaving in the movement. And there's some other things that it'll spawn off into, because there's some other things that it'll cover, but that's what we're going to dive into today. I'm Jared, this is RedRacer Video, formerly a car vlogger, and now I'm an independent citizen journalist because of some things that I've seen that I cannot shake. You all make it possible with your donations to the channel through Patreon, PayPal, and Venmo. If you see value as you watch this video, and only if you see value, consider supporting the channel down below. This is my work now. I do not work. I was fired from a job, and I decided to make this my work. So thank you to everybody that's made that possible. Again, if you see value, 3 links down below. Let's dive into today's subject. So once again, like I said in the opener, and we won't beat a dead horse too much on this, but I do want to get into this. Dylan Wheeler from Educating Liberals is out of the Q movement. I woke up this morning to the news. I had no idea. This isn't something that the people in the bakery knew about. At least not to my knowledge. Nobody knew about it. I woke up this morning, had a message from one of my followers on Instagram that said, "Holy crap, what's going on with Dylan? Have you heard anything?" So I wrote them back and basically said, I just woke up. I don't know what's going on. Got into the bakery group chat, started to have that dialogue with some people, and then we are where we are. I did reach out to Dylan for what it's worth, and I'll give you guys kind of the heads up on the story there. A little backstory. Dylan posted a video where he essentially found some information about hydroxychloroquine and some things about the Q movement and some things that are going on. And Dylan basically said that I'm out on the Q thing. His faith has been shaken. Dylan has, let's put a little context, a little backstory with this, okay? Dylan's obviously pretty well known. The dude's got, I don't know how many thousands of followers, 100 and something thousand followers. I know QMail drops at like 200,000. Dylan's got to be huge. I think he's like 17 or 1,800 patrons on Patreon. So people that pay to support the guy because they see value in what he's doing. So he's got a big following. Something that I want to say, and this isn't to compare myself to Dylan in any way, because his following is vastly bigger than mine. But just with the size of my following, and I'm only at like 16,000 people on Instagram and like 54,000 or 53,000 or something here. This isn't just fun and games. And to a lot of the people, we're going to kind of touch on something else. To the people that, and I've seen a lot of this, there's a lot of people who have kind of come down on Dylan because he is supported by people like I'm supported by people. He is also a patron. He also asked for donations so that he could quit his full-time job and also devote his time to this. I get that there's a mixed bag of emotion from people, and a lot of people feel like he sold them out. There's a lot of people that paid him for his information and paid him to do what he's doing, and now he backed out on those people. And in fairness, I get it. I see how people would maybe feel like that. To those people, though, I just want to say this. I don't know where Dylan's at. I don't know what Dylan's thinking. I have reached out. I told him, I love you, dude. If you need anything, I'm here. He wrote back and said, thank you. It sounds like he has probably caught a lot of grief off of people who were supporters until the dude was like, you know, and I need to walk away from this for right now. Getting back to the whole weight of this all, we feel this weight. This is a heavy burden. This isn't something that we just like willy-nilly do. And I truly don't think that there is one person inside of the bakery that is doing this out of popularity. I have not once in the group chat with all the group heard any of the guys or gals inside of the group say, man, I can't wait until I'm famous. Or, man, this is going to make me rich. I just haven't heard that. Yes, Dylan asked people to support him because he wanted to make this his work. Yes, I have asked for people to support me because I have made this my work. In fairness, I didn't even ask for help and then quit my job. I got fired from a job and I just decided I want to open people's eyes. I want to make this my work. I had a bunch of people kind of push me to do the Patreon thing and ask people to support me. And so I did. And I'm glad that I did. It's now provided me the ability to do this. But it doesn't mean that we then become a sellout. I don't think in any way, shape, or form, and I don't know what happened, but I have seen a lot of people say that they think Dylan sold out. I've heard a lot of people say that they think that big tech got to him, paid him off, or that the deep state got to him and paid him off. In fairness, could those things be true? Sure. But do we just automatically go to that every time somebody leaves the Q movement? Or every time somebody's faith gets a little shaken and they need to back off and wait? I don't think that's fair. Think about what Dylan's doing here. To all the people who maybe are upset that you were supporting him or giving him financial support to do this and now he's backing out, the guy's doing exactly what you should want him to do. If he's unsure about where he stands and he knows that he's got thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people who put faith in him to bring them good information. And right now he wants to make sure that he's doing that. Should you question the guy? I don't think so. There's something else that I want to touch on. I think a lot of people's faith in all of this is shaken by Dylan leaving, by Dylan wanting to go and find himself and find out what's going on and just take some time. At least all I can do is speak for myself. My faith has not been shaken one bit, not even a little bit. Not to bore you guys with a bunch of old details, but I went down this rabbit hole a long time ago. I found Q and I found all this stuff a long time ago, and I had been following and I had been paying attention. Not publicly, I wasn't outspoken about it all. I was part of the silent majority for a long time, but I didn't say anything for a long time. And when I found all of the stuff that I found, and real quick, guys, links in the description. X22 Report, Dan Bongino, Out of Shadows, The Fall Cabal, a lot of stuff that led me to being where I'm at. I also walked away. A lot of the stuff was heavy, and it was dark, and it was stuff that I didn't like, and I didn't even like bringing it to people. I felt like I was feeding that dark energy at first by even bringing this stuff to light. But then it was for me, and I think for a lot of people in the movement, it was the child stuff. It was the children. It was the crimes against humanity. It was the human trafficking, the sex trafficking. That, for me, made it to where I was like, okay, come hell or high water, I've got to bring attention to this. But that's not to say that this stuff doesn't get really heavy, really dark, and really overwhelming. And as people that we feel the weight that we carry with all of the faith that you all put in us. We don't carry that lightly. At least I don't. And I don't think Dylan does either. I haven't even gotten a real big answer out of the guy. All I know is that he needs to take some time, and he doesn't mean any of the people in the Q movement harm as far as I can tell. He's not leaving like freaking out and burning the place down. I would ask at this time for people to just respect the dude and understand where he's at and try and appreciate the fact that Dylan's so much farther down this rabbit hole than I think a lot of the rest of us are. And even if Dylan were to, at the end of all of this, say, yeah, I don't believe in any of this anymore, I'm out, it wouldn't change things for me. And it wouldn't change anything for the people in the bakery. And it wouldn't change where we're at. And it wouldn't change all of the proofs that have been proved and the things that have happened exactly as they should. I would be lying to you guys if I said that I've never questioned some of this stuff myself. But for me, I liken it to kind of like organized religion. I know there's people in this video, probably all walks of life. I've probably got Catholics and Mormons and Protestants and Baptists and all kinds of stuff, Jehovah's Witnesses, you name it. There's probably all kinds of different people in here. Just because we don't believe what the other person believes necessarily, it doesn't mean we have to go attack their religion, right? And just the same is true for me with the Q movement. This is probably a lot of why I wanted to make this video and a lot of what I wanted to say to people that maybe will get their faith shaken throughout all this. This is a war and there is a lot that's going to happen. The mainstream media and everybody is out there putting the full court press on the Q movement right now. And they are doing everything they can to discredit us. We knew this was coming. Q's been telling us this was coming for a long time. But again, like I said in my last video, ask yourself, think, why would they just delete people's accounts? Why would they be trying so hard to get the people in this movement to crack? Why would they do that? If our information is so flawed and so false, they would just do to us what Donald Trump does to people, and they would just gaslight us. And you think that they would just bring lots more attention instead of trying to paint the narrative for people that we're these tin hat wearing conspiracy theorists, right? But here's where this is what I was getting at with this. If someone is another religion, or if someone is in the Q movement, or someone believes these things and you don't yourself believe it, before you just start tagging people with rude names, and before you just dismiss somebody like Dylan because he left the movement, remember that it doesn't mean that the dude's automatically just going to become a huge detractor and be a big problem for everybody. And it also means that it also doesn't mean that we just have to go start attacking the dude because he doesn't necessarily think the way we think anymore. He's still a God-fearing dude. He still loves Jesus Christ. And as far as I can tell, he's still a Trump supporter and still going to do what he thinks to be right. He may never believe in the Q stuff again. And that's okay. Doesn't mean I'm going to just write off everything the guy says. If what Dylan believes and if what he is following still means that he is making the decisions that are right for him and his family and for the most amount of people in the United States of America, and as long as those decisions still keep me free and him free and all these people on the same page, as long as his beliefs lead him to be a good father and a good husband and a good neighbor, and he's not out harming people with his beliefs, even if his beliefs end up being 180 degrees contradictory of what my own beliefs are, I'm not going to hate the dude just for that. And I'm also not just going to write the dude off just for that. I got all kinds of friends who don't necessarily believe everything I'm pitching yet and don't necessarily have the same belief system I do. A lot more of are waking up and coming around to it. But the ones that really, truly think that I'm like off my rocker, some of them anyway, are still my friends. And we still can be friends. And they understand that this is my thing. And this is my calling. And I feel drawn to this in my heart. I want everyone out there, in closing, this is the last thing I'm going to say. Anyone out there who supports me, has supported me to this point, that I'm sure you've all heard the grumblings, at least maybe at one point or another, about Q and what he says about people who are paid to do what we do. I'm going to answer that by saying this. I don't think he was talking about people like me. I really don't. I think he was talking about people who, like, this is all they're out to do. Like, they started their... In fairness, there's a girl YouTuber that I used to follow that decided she was going to Patreon, and now, I'm sorry, but you don't get to see my videos unless you're on Patreon. I think those, and at least in my opinion, I could be wrong, I think those were the people that were talked about as far as being, you know, having to pay to see their content. I'm never going to hide behind a pay veil, guys. I do not force you to pay for me to watch my content. I don't hide my content behind any pay veil. It is here for you to see. I do ask that people support me because my kids are amazing and they deserve a good life. And I don't want them to live off of food stamps because their dad saw purpose in something and went off the deep end and put everything into it, lost his job because of it, and stuck with it. That's why I ask people to support me. And for what it's worth, you all have done amazing. And I have replaced my income. And I now offer the shirts to supplement the income. And I offer and I ask for those things simply because we all know that I say things on YouTube that at some point could very well just disappear because YouTube could blank me. I hope they don't. I feel like I'm only speaking truth, and I think that at some point this stuff hopefully all gets straightened out. But I have to keep in mind that that's a possibility. So when I ask for support, that is why. I hope you all see why. Thank you everyone who has supported. You have made this possible and you continue to do so. If you saw value and if you see value in what I do, 3 links down below, Patreon, PayPal, Venmo. If you're one of the people who don't see value in what I do, no problem. Don't support me. By all means, don't. I get it. And if you don't support me and don't like it, don't even watch these videos because you're giving me watch me and it supports me too. But to go out of your way to say that we're out trying to rip people off, or like to go out of your way and say that Dylan sold out and as soon as he got some money, he gave up on the movement. And that's the only reason he was in the movement was for growth and for money. I don't believe you. I really don't. I could be wrong because I don't know the truth about what's going on with Dylan, but I care about the guy. He seems like he's got a very good heart, and every interaction I've ever had with the guy has been positive. He's never led me to believe he's anything other than an upstanding dude. So I'm going to just step back and say, give the dude his space, respect him, and wherever he ends up, decide if you support him after that. But don't throw him out because he's no longer with Q. Don't automatically accept him because he is with Q. The people in this Q movement, we do not blindly follow Q. We do not blindly follow Trump. Make no mistake about it. We all seek truth. We are critical thinkers. We are free thinkers. We accept it all, and then we come to a place. And not one person inside of this movement all thinks the same. We all have our own things. You should all do the same. Seek truth. Do not blindly follow me. Do not blindly follow Dylan. Do not blindly follow Q-Mail Drop Steven. Do not blindly follow QAnon Obi-Wan Joe. None of us. Take what we say, remember it, go do your own research, find your own conclusions, draw your own conclusions. But we are at war, and it is pivotal that you pick a side right now. I love you all. Thank you once again to all the people who support me. Thank you for letting me spend a few minutes about something that is really of no massive amounts of value, but I felt like I wanted people to know where I was at on it because I was getting a lot of questions. So hopefully that cleared things up. Thank you once again. Everybody supports me. I love you all. See you tomorrow. RedRacer video. Stick in there. Things are getting wild. Do not lose faith. Love your neighbors. We're united we stand. Divided we fall. We'll see you guys.